Okay, I'm back out here at the shop. In lieu of my how to build your own shop, how to get your own shop going. I know the last one was, buy the dirt. It really is the number one step in it if you really want to succeed in it. It's a tough one, I know. I know for sure. And like I said, it's better to make a mortgage payment than it is to make rent payments. So if you can save up in the beginning to drop that down payment and do it that way, that is really the best way to do it. Even if you're not building your own, stick building at all, if you're dropping a down payment on an existing property, it's actually the way to go. So that's my other one, kind of a recap there. Second one is tools. That's something you can be doing in the beginning. And you heard me mention it about the vampire trucks. Do everything you can to stay away from the vampire trucks. They're easy financing is a way you can get them, but their interest rates and I'm always very skeptical of anything that's easy, and especially when it comes to easy financing, because you get it in your head that, okay, I can just do it. I can pay for it in a month. Well, tool truck comes by the next week and you add something else to it, and you keep adding to it until, you get pretty deep in it. So just, be careful with that stuff. There still is some stuff that you have to get off of the tool truck. So, just use your head in that. But for anybody who's just starting it out, and this one will go for anybody. If you just want to set up something in your garage, you just want to see if this is stuff you like. You want to restore a car with your kids, or, you want a father-son, mother-daughter project, mother-son, whatever. This is a good way to start that. And to tell you the truth, it's, again, this goes back to my dad. Even though he was a tool truck junkie, I equate that to the time, though, because you had to. Back then, there was no internet, there was no Amazon. You couldn't just look up tools and order them and have them delivered, free shipping, all of that. If you had to have the tool, they were there, they supplied it to you, you got the job done, and off you went. But nowadays, things have changed. But in the beginning, and it's something that, and you'll see this throughout everything I do on this channel, the biggest advice he gave me way back when I bought my first car, when we built the first sandrail, everything leads to this. Start small to build big. And you take that advice through this haul, and it'll pay off tenfold. So we'll bring that to tools. What tools to buy? This is controversial, but it's one that I stand on hard. Don't be afraid of Harbor Freight. Do they break? You better believe it, but they're lifetime guaranteed. This is my go-to ratchet. This is the extension of my hand. The reason I got it is because it feels just like the snap-on one that my dad has, that is his go-to one. My hand knows this ratchet. Will it break? Yep. This one's broke. It had too much torque put on it. This is what happens when you loan your tools. Yeah. For starters, it's a 3/8. The reason it broke is because it was on a bolt that should have been a 1/2 inch. You can only put so much torque on a 3/8. And in automotive, a lot of the stuff, you go back and you see what I was doing with this. A lot of stuff I'm doing with this is light torque. If you know how to use it, what the tool is capable of, you don't break them. This was caused by, this should have been one of my 1/2 inch ratchets. My 1/2 inch ratchet would have taken that bolt right out. But it was put on one that was too much torque, required too much torque, over torqued it, and it separated this in here. So now the head won't. Actually, it's just barely on there. The head will fall off. Not to the fault of the tool, to the fault of the operator. They used this where they should have been using a 1/2 inch or a breaker bar or something like that. Anyway, don't be afraid of Harbor Freight. This ratchet is 20 bucks. The snap-on one is over 100. So I could buy, what, 5 of these for the price of that one snap-on one. This will get the job done. There are wrenches, the Pittsburgh Pro wrenches. I use these all the time. Again, the whole set of these are the long handle ones. The whole set is 20 bucks. So I know they're cheap tools. I know that they can break. They're not as good as Snap-on by far. But they're so cheap that I can double wrench these. I don't care. You know, if I do this on a set of Snap-on ones, I freak out because I don't want to hurt a Snap-on tool. You know, double wrenching, you get a bolt that's too tight, you can hit it, pop it loose, add more torque to it. But it scuffs these in here, it chips up, it's hard on your wrenches. You never want to do that with a Snap-on. So I get these, like I said, 20 bucks for the whole set. I got the rest of them in my toolbox. I don't want to drag them all out here. The Snap-on set is, I think, 150, 200 bucks, you know. Then you add on the easy financing. You throw the interest on that all. And if it takes you a year to pay for it because you've added everything to it, you know, that interest monkey just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. And when you're all said and done, that could have been $500 for a Snap-on set, depending on how long it takes you to pay for them. My impact, you can see, it's just Harbor Freight, Bauer. It works great. I've had very good luck with it, and it's battery, you know, so I don't have to drag the air compressor up, especially in here, because I haven't got my air compressor set up yet. Or I can run outside, I can run out back, pop a tire off, whatever I gotta do. We have Snap-on ones at the other shop. We got those when they first came out, and I'll tell you what, I've never held another battery pack one that can compete with the torque values of the one up there, the Snap-on one. But it's too good. And actually using that one, it helped me to learn how to use this one. And the reason is because that one with the 2 batteries, good Lord, when that first came out, I think Dad was into it about $1,000. They were expensive when they first came out. And again, you add all of the interest on it with that easy financing. He spent a lot of money for them, and he got 2 of them in case one breaks, you know. And at the time we were doing the monster truck, so these were a godsend back then for taking the tires off, put the load tires on and everything. You could just zip them out and roll those big 66-inch tires off and put the load tires on it, tire up, tire down, real quick. In the pits, you know, when you're getting ready for the show, or if anything bad happens, you know, you got an impact, you can do work real quick. But the Snap-on one has so much torque that they break the anvils. We broke quite a few of them. The ones, you know, and Snap-on does, they warranty them 3 times. After that, you have to buy it. And it's an expensive anvil. It's an expensive repair. It's like, I think it was $300 to replace that. You break it when you're working it, you know, you're holding it and you're working it out. And if you bobble it like that, it'll snap that anvil because it's got a lot of torque. That one, I think if the world had a bolt in it, you could spin the world with that Snap-on one. But it's delicate because of that. You got to hold it straight. You can't let it angle in any kind of way or it breaks it. And all of them, you know, both of them, they're on their 3rd warranty. So if they break again, they're gone. Because there ain't no way we're going to buy another one. And also with the Snap-on, you have to wait for the truck to pick it up, the tool truck, to warranty it. If you're lucky, he'll give you a loaner while they send that one off to be repaired. That can take a month. And when it comes back, then you got to wait for him to come back around. You know, you can be without a tool for a long time on their lifetime warranty. And nowadays on the tool trucks, the Vampire trucks, you have to have proof of purchase of it. And, you know, a lot of those, like Dad, for instance, you know, he's had that for since 2000, so 21 years, you know. Just that one, you know, and all of his wrenches and stuff. All that time passed by, you got to have the original receipt and proof of purchase, you know. It's just, you go on the internet and look it up. Shops are in uproar about Vampire truck warranties. Your tool truck guy switches, retires, because, you know, you get a new one, they won't honor the warranties from the old guy, you know. It's, yeah, their tools are the best, but their warranties are the worst. So, before I make this an hour-long one, don't be afraid of the Harbor Freight stuff as compared to the tool truck, Vampire truck stuff. This one, if I break it, and I've already broke a few of them. You can see this one right here. It's already got marks in the chrome from working it. I've had this set for, I bought it last fall, so I'm going on a year with this wrench. You know how many jobs I've turned because of this wrench? You know, this $20 set of tools, I've turned made money on too many jobs that I can't count them. I'd have to look it up. I'm going to say off the top of my head 100 jobs. So I've made 100 profitable jobs off of this $20 tool. You see where I'm going with it? And if it breaks, I just walk in, I drop it on the counter, I say, hey, look at this, it's broke. They say, go get another one. I get another one, I walk out. I can be up and running that day instead of waiting and waiting and waiting. You go back and look at Dad's tools. He's got a shelf of Matco, Cornwall, and Snap-on stuff that's been sitting there, some of it for a year, trying to get it warrantied. If it's what you depend on, it's what you're needing. Like I said, you're going into business. You have to have your tools. Don't be afraid of that stuff. You know, it's cheap. It doesn't work as good. It's gonna break. But for 20 bucks, you know, I can buy, which is what I did. I bought 2 sets of them, because sometimes you need 2, and I use them. As I go, you know, if I'm constantly breaking one, I'll go to the next step up. I know Harbor Freight's got Icon line, and I like a lot of the Icon line, but they're very close in price to Tetkin, and I prefer the Tetkin brand over that. And they're, like I said, they're the close price range. So when it comes to Harbor Freight, I do the Pittsburgh cheap lifetime warranty ones. If I upgrade, I go to Tetkin. I don't have any here right now I can show you, but that's how I do it. And then if my Tetkins break, well then, either I'm doing something wrong, you know, like this was, or the tool is just crap. And they're out, you know. Tetkin, a couple of their things aren't so good. Harbor Freight, a lot of their stuff isn't very good. So I'll jump and make the plunge and upgrade that stuff to a Vampire truck brand. Or I say brand, I mean that by, you know, an upper name brand. I try my best to do it with something not associated with the trucks. Or if it does come off the truck, I'll get the price of it when he shows up, and then if I can afford it right then, I've dropped cash on it. I don't do the easy financing. Like I said, if it's something I desperately need, that the cheap stuff just doesn't work on. My double flare tool, it's a Matco, because I haven't found one anywhere else that's any, you know, Harbor Freight one, don't do that one. I did 2 double flares and it stripped the teeth out on mild steel, not stainless. It was mild steel brake lines. I was doing a brake line. And everybody in this field knows that you don't even touch that stuff. In fact, I got a brand new one. They warrantied it. It's still in the plastic in my toolbox. I'll probably never open it. I just know that that one is junk. They're bench grinders. Don't even waste your time with a Harbor Freight, Chicago Electric bench grinder. I tried, because like I said, I'll do it on the cheap. When I brought it home, I mounted it, I clicked the button, it made about 4 revolutions and then it bogged out and it died. I didn't even touch nothing to it. Took it back. Hey, Harbor Freight is great at this part. Took it back and said, hey, this thing, was dead out of the box. They said, oh yeah, no problem. Just go back and get another one. Brought it over, off I go. Brought it home, stuck it on, plugged it in, hit the button, nothing. It was dead. So I put it back in, I took it back, and they said, yeah, we've had problems with these, so, they just refunded me out. Not a big deal, kind of a pain in the butt that I spent the time. No big deal. They refunded me the money. Where I'm at, there's a Lowe's almost in the same parking lot. I just went around to Lowe's and I got a Porter cable one. Same thing, same size, and I've been using it ever since. It's a low horsepower one. I know it's a low horsepower one. It's a small bench grinder. It's not made for shaping. It's made for cleaning up rust. In fact, I got double wire wheels on it. Because that's what that's the only purpose for that little one. We got a big Delta, I think it is, old one. It just keeps going and going and going. That one's for shaping. It's a big one. It's got, looks like a 5-horse motor on. I know it's not that big, but it's a big grinder, heavy duty. Henry Ford probably used it, had his hands on it at one time. It's so old, but that thing just keeps going and going and going. Know the limitations of your tools. So, in all of this, how to tool up in your shop, because as you can see here, I'm building this shop up. I will be doing that. Start small to work big in this shop. My other tools, I I got them over at the other shop along with Dad's. That's where the heavy work goes on. This one, I'm just kind of, getting it started. I'm going to start with Harbor Freight and let those tools turn me 20, 30, 40, 50 jobs before they break, and then I'll upgrade them. Or if I can turn that 100 jobs on it, then, $20, it's worth it. So, don't be afraid of the cheap stuff. It's not the tool that does the job, it's the hand that holds the tool that gets the job done. Even hardcore professionals, you got to start somewhere. And when you open your own shop, if you go on the tool truck, or you go and you pick a name brand of the best stuff you've looked at and everything, and you just drop that money right down on the tools, it's gonna take you a long time to recover from that. Why not start small and just roll from there? Pawn shops. I see over and over and over and over again. Check pawn shops. Check the pawn shops. I do. Every yard sale I go to, I look for tools, and some of mine have come that way. Buying them used. But you got to be very careful with that. I have seen more times than I can even count where people are, Craigslist and Facebook, Marketplace. People will ask brand new price for very wore out tools. I don't know why, but maybe it's the sentiment thing, you know, my dad had these tools, they were his lifeblood, so now I'm selling them, so you're buying my memories. I think that's what it is, because a lot of these things, good God almighty, you could buy them brand new for $1, $2 more, or sometimes even cheaper. So be careful of that. Pawn shops, they try to get as much as they possibly can. If you're a really good haggler, you know, maybe that works for you. Don't close your eyes to them, because sometimes they do pop up. So, you know, use your own discretion in it. But when you're looking for tools, buy the ones you can afford to turn you enough jobs to pay for themselves, so you can later on clear it. You know, a $20 oil change, you know, you do 5 oil changes with that wrench, it pays for the whole set. You get what I'm saying on that. And then if you want to upgrade, you know, paid for, then you upgrade and then you paid for, you know, they're yours. Be careful with the vampire trucks too, because that easy financing, if something bad happens and, you know, you can't make the payment, they can come and take it. And if you're in business and this is your business, your tools are your lifeblood. You don't want people taking your tools. And, you know, if you fall on hard times, which you will, this crap ain't easy. You don't want the tool truck taking your ability to get out of that hole. So keep that in your mind. And like I said, don't be afraid of discount tools in that aspect. Amazon tools, I avoid them. I don't like them at all. I don't care what the price is. I will never order something that is a tool off of Amazon. Because of the same reason I don't like vampire trucks. Because I can't warranty them. I can't take it, drop it on the counter, grab another one, and leave. I have to get a return authorization. I gotta, you know, jump through the hoops to send it back, and it's probably going back to China, and hope and pray that it takes the fast boat, not the slow boat, from China back here so I can get my job done. So I avoid Amazon when it comes to tools. And for that part, I do everything I can in parts too to make sure that I'm buying them local, putting them in my hand. But that's a topic for the next video. So when you're tooling up, and O'Reilly's and your auto parts store, a lot of that stuff in there isn't bad either, and it's comparable with Harbor Freight. So, you know, if you have a stigma against Harbor Freight and you're in O'Reilly's, a lot of times their ratchet is the same price. You know, their wrench is the same price within reason. So, and they're all lifetime guaranteed too. It's just a different place you have to go to take them back to warranty them. And they're all made in China, and they're all going to break. So you don't care so much if it breaks. And you might have a roadside, or you got to go to the junkyard to get parts, or, you know, stuff like that. At the other shop, you don't, the Snap-on stuff and the Matco stuff, it don't leave the shop. It stays there. I mean, it's almost lock and key. That, you know, you don't mess with them. You take the cheap ones. the Harbor Freight ones, the Benchmark, you know, Craftsman, the cheap tools. Because if you leave that wrench somewhere on the side of the road or sitting on a fender out in the junkyard, it's not that big of a deal. It's not devastating. You leave a snap-on tool or drop a 1/4 inch snap-on socket, by golly, you go back there and you spend the rest of the day looking at it, digging through the grass, taking a magnet around, you know. So if you're not thinking about breaking the tool, hurting the tool, losing the tool, you tend to get more work done within the limitations of that tool. So take that for what it is, and good luck out there. I'm actually rooting for you. Till then, I'm going to try to get this metal hot.